Greetings, mages! In this tutorial, we'll go over how to play Mageling. There are 3 different modes to choose from: competitive, co-op, and solo. The mode you choose will dictate how you set up and play the game. Competitive mode is a head-to-head 2 to 4 player race to save the Evertree before its life force is used to summon the Ancient Ones. Each game comes with 4 Spirit Crystal player sheets and tracking tokens, 4 action cards, 4 standees, 4 Ancient One cards used in a cooperative game, 5 location decks, levels 1 through 5, 24 spawn or damage tokens, 40 mana crystals, 75 Nexus cards, and 5 rune dice. Now let's get the game set up. Begin by shuffling all location decks and the Nexus deck. Draw 1 location card from each deck and line them up in a row face down. Draw 5 Nexus cards and line them up under the location cards. Place the Nexus deck on either side. Place all mana crystals and spawn/damage tokens in a location easily reachable by all players. Each player picks a character, receives their chosen character's spirit crystal, and an action card. Each player also gets mana equal to 3 plus the number of their turn order. For example, the first player gets 3 plus 1 mana for a total of 4 mana. The second player gets 3 plus 2 mana, the third player gets 3 plus 3 mana, and so on. Your spirit crystal is how you track how much energy you have and what actions you are choosing based on your dice roll. The action card is a double-sided action card that lists spirit crystal actions on one side and basic actions on the other. Mana is a permanent resource that is converted into energy. Energy is a temporary resource used to buy scrolls, defeat spawns, and defeat locations. Let's take a quick look at your spirit crystal board. Use your tracking token to keep track of how much energy you have during your turn. There are 2 gather sections. Each gather section can be used to gain 1 mana using matching dice, or 1 energy using an unmatched die. The animate section can be activated using a finesse die to reroll any unused dice, discard a card from the Nexus, trigger a card's animate effect, or if playing co-op, activate your unique spirit crystal skill. If you're not playing co-op, be sure your spirit crystal board is turned to the side that does not have the unique skill. The focus section is how you generate energy and or activate a spirit card. What's a spirit card? That's a great question. Spirit cards appear in the Nexus and are activated to perform different actions ranging from changing the outcome of an unused dice to mimicking other cards. Using this card as an example, the title of the card is Sprite. Below the title is a reward for activating the spirit. This section describes the effect of the card. These icons represent the type of the card and which school of magic the card belongs to. This section provides a piece of lore that goes with the specific card. We're almost ready. The last thing we need to go over is how the location cards work. Remember the 5 super secret face down cards? Each card is a location card. Before entering the first location, let's take a look at a few things. Here's the title, this is the difficulty level, and this is its life force, used exclusively in co-op mode. The first player to enter the location will flip the card over to reveal its effects. Like scroll cards, here is the title, and here is the lore. Under the title is the difficulty level and the location name. This section goes over the different effects, and this is the energy cost needed to defeat this location. The first location is Magelings. When flipped over, each player gains 1 spawn. Each player must remove all spawns and spend 7 energy before they can move to the next location. Now that we know what everything is, how they work, and how to play, let's go through a round. The first player is chosen randomly. If 2 people are playing, I recommend flipping either an energy tracker or a spawn/damage token. Each turn is broken up into 3 phases: the roll phase, action phase, and refresh phase. In the roll phase, the player rolls 5 dice. If they are not pleased with the outcome, they may re-roll any number of dice 1 time during this phase. The second phase is the action phase. During this phase, they can perform as many actions as they'd like as long as they have the required resources to complete them. They may also choose to use a matching pair of dice in the first gather section to gain 1 mana, and an unmatched die can be placed in the second gather section to gain 1 energy. Perhaps they would like to focus their match pair, gaining 1 energy for the first die and 1 additional energy for every additional matched die or finesse rune. They could also activate a spirit in the Nexus by focusing a pair of runes matching the spirit's school of magic. If the player rolled a finesse die, they may choose to add it as a wild die to focus additional energy. They may also activate the animate section, allowing them to choose one of 3 actions located on the spirit crystal side of the action card. In this example, the player rolled 2 death, 1 hedge, 1 finesse, and 1 ether. They can use their death pair to gather 1 mana or focus 2 energy, plus 1 additional energy for the finesse roll. The player can use their ether and hedge to gather additional energy. They then choose to convert 2 of their mana into energy, giving them a total of 6 energy. There is a variety of actions listed on the action card that can be done during the action phase. The player can use 2 energy to remove the spawn that was gained when the location was revealed, bringing their energy down to 4. The remaining energy could then be used to purchase the remote healing scroll from the Nexus. Another option the player can take is to convert all of their mana into energy, giving them 8 energy. Once again, they use 2 energy to defeat the spawn and have 6 energy remaining. If we take a closer look at their current location's global effect, we can see that when a player focuses death, they can defeat the location for 1 less cost. This location costs 7 energy. And since they focus death, it brings the cost down to 6 energy instead. The player has exactly enough to defeat this location and move to the next. When a player has completed the action phase, enter the refresh phase. This is the time where damage is assigned, cards return to their normal position, any unused energy is lost, and the dice are passed to the player to the left. The second player repeats all 3 phases by rolling the dice, performing actions, and refreshing. Let's fast forward a little bit. Both players have progressed to the middle of the game and have several scrolls in their grimoire. You roll your dice and decide to focus energy. Buy your 4th scroll, and activate 2 previously purchased scrolls. A scroll can't be activated on the same turn that is purchased. You're ready to defeat the location and move to the next one. Flip over the next location to reveal its effects. Out of actions, you enter the refresh phase. Each player will continue to take turns, increasing their energy, buying powerful scrolls, and defeating locations. The first person to defeat all 5 locations wins. In co-op mode, you set up the board the same way you would in competitive mode. Place a face-down Evertree card above the start location and 1 face-down Ancient One card above the remaining 4 locations. Flip your Spirit Crystal board over to reveal your unique animate effect. Co-op mode plays slightly different than competitive mode. The goal of co-op mode is for the team to defeat the final location before the Evertree perishes. In this mode, you will need to keep track of the Evertree's life force as you progress through all 5 locations. If you wait too long, the forces of the Tempest will succeed in draining all of the Evertree's life force, summoning the Ancient Ones, and forever dooming the world. As players defeat locations, the Evertree will regain its lost life force, and replenishing the land. The first player to defeat the 5th location will complete the chapter. A full campaign consists of 5 chapters that get harder as you progress. All roles are exactly the same as competitive mode, however there is one additional phase, the Doom phase. At the end of each round, the first player removes 1 mana from the Evertree card and places it on the leftmost Ancient One card. If the Ancient One gains 3 mana, it's flipped over, initiating the reveal effects. The Evertree dies if there are no longer any mana crystals available to give. In order to save the Evertree, you must explore and defeat all 5 locations. Whenever a new location is revealed, you will move the mana on that location to the Evertree. When the last person leaves a location, 1 additional mana is given to the Evertree. During a campaign, upon completion of a chapter, you remove all location cards and set them aside. These location cards won't be used again. If you're unable to defeat the chapter, you'll have the option of restarting the chapter keeping all current locations, or starting all over again at Chapter 1. Completing Chapter 5 completes the campaign, pushing back the forces of the Tempest and saving your world. Now that the world has been saved, you can figure out how many points you've earned. At the end of each chapter, keep track of how many points you get. Everyone gets 1 point for every completed chapter that was conquered on their first try. You also get 1 additional point for every remaining Evertree life force. Subtract 1 point if you're playing on Apprentice mode, or add 1 additional point if you're playing on Legendary mode. Apprentice and Legendary mode details can be found in the Mageling rulebook. Campaign track sheets can also be downloaded at familiargames.net. That sure is a lot of content in one small box. Make sure to come back and let us know how many points you were able to earn. I hope this tutorial helped you begin your journey in Mageling. See you next time.